back to TV1's On Point. I'm Armstrong Williams, and we're still with the legendary writer, author, mother, grandmother, wife, more than once, Dr. Maya Angelou. And welcome back. Welcome back to TV1's On Point. Thank you so much for doing this and allowing us in your home.
Thank you very much.
We're so honored and humbled by it. But back to your experiences, as we were discussing before we were going out to break.
Well, some people are great parents of young adults after they can make sense of them. And other people are, it's rare to have a person who's a great parent of the growing child right up to adulthood. Very rare. That's why teenagers have such rebellion against a number of their parents, because their parents have been so indulgent while they were little, and now they think, I want to do this and I want to do that, and the parents can't comprehend. So if you really shift a gear and say, I'm talking to a young adult who may not know much but wants everything, knows how much everything costs but values nothing. You see? You have to know that and take some patience with the person. In my mom's case, she had exquisite patience. At 17, I told her my son was 2 months old, and she had this big house and live-in help. And I said, I'm leaving. She said, you're leaving my house? I said, yes. I found a room with cooking privileges down the hall. She said, you're leaving and you're taking the baby. I said, yes. She said, oh, I said, I found a job. She said, all right, okay. You leave this house. But realize, when you walk over my door sill, you've already been raised. Don't let anybody raise you. That means you know the difference between right and wrong. From what you've learned from your grandmother, your Uncle Willie, and me, you know the difference between right and wrong. Do right. She said, whatever relationship you get into, you will have to make compromises, adaptations. That's all right. Don't let anybody raise you. And remember this, you can always come home.
Why were you leaving?
Oh, because I couldn't. I was a woman. I had a baby. No.
It was not your mother's responsibility.
No, indeed not.
Wow.
It wasn't my mother's responsibility, nor was it the state's responsibility.
I want to go back to something which I think is so crucial in this interview. The self-esteem that you got from your mom when you least expected it. When you really saw, well, maybe I am something special. I can be somebody. I could be among those great women like Eleanor Roosevelt. How did that change you in your career path?
Well, as I said, it did tell me to stop smoking. I just started playing with smoking. Stop drinking and stop cursing. I didn't realize a whole lot of people were great who smoked, drank, and cursed. But my grandmother had always told me, she said, you're going to be a teacher. So I had no problems of self-esteem, because my grandmother and Bailey,
your brother.
My brother.
Yes.
Oh, Armstrong Williams, if you had known my brother was the genius. If my family ever made a genius, we came closest in making Bailey Johnson. Bailey would tell me, remember, I was about 13. He said, all knowledge is spendable currency depending upon the market. Learn everything. He was 15 years old, a black boy from a little village in Arkansas. He told me, he said, you're very intelligent. You're the smartest person in the world, almost. You're not as smart as I am. He said, but you're a woman, and you're supposed to let me open a door for you. I'm supposed to hold a chair for you.
Your brother?
My brother. So that kept, I was 6 foot tall. He was 5'4.5".
I want you to think about, I want to come back to something you talked about, the conversation about right and wrong.
Yes.
And the conversation about it was not your mother's responsibility after you had that baby. Bill Cosby was in the news much of this year, talking about personal responsibility and accountability, and you talk a lot about a black girl, a black boy. You place emphasis on this word black. And I'm sure there's something deep in terms of your descriptions, and I want to get into that. But how does what Bill Cosby is saying today play into your own upbringing, and what responsibility it is for the so-called black community to resolve many of the issues or the crises that we face today? Yeah.
Well, I was asked by the media, what did I think of what Bill Cosby said? And I said, I rarely answer a question with a question. But in this case, I must. And my answer is, did he lie?
Did he?
No, he didn't lie. He may have been, maybe he could have been more tactful, but he didn't lie. We have always been a responsible people, always, from slavery on. And in the last 20 years, we've lost a sense of self, and we've lost an ability to teach our children a sense of self. You did it, you pay for it. That's it. We used to have a phrase, into the 60s, every tub sits on its own bottom.
I remember that.
Yes, sir, rebound. And now all of a sudden we want everybody else's to sit on somebody else's bottom. What is that? How can you hold yourself, how can you say, I want to do this, I want to make a change, I want my life to mean something. I don't want to just live and die upon this earth and live nothing but despair and revulsion. No, this is my one chance to be me. My one chance. You see?
No, I feel it. And this is TV One's On Point. I'm Armstrong Williams. We're live to tape. And the beautiful home of Dr. Maya Angelou, poet, author, writer, screenwriter, actress, dancer, publisher. She has a new book out. We're going to talk about her books. I mean, she has been on the New York Times bestsellers list. She's sold books all over the world. And we're just so happy and pleased to have her as our very special guest on TV One's On Point, and we'll be back. To TV One's On Point. I'm Armstrong Williams. We're live to tape in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, with our very distinguished guest, a distinguished professor here at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the Honorable Dr. Maya Angelou. Tell us about your years of living in Ghana. You lived in Africa. Yeah. Was it because you did not find America the home for you, and you were searching for a home in your spirit, and you ended up in Ghana?
Well, I think, yes, I would say so, but not directly searching for a home because America wasn't home. America is my home. The U.S. is my home. My ancestors, I mean, their blood and sweat and tears and watered this place. This is mine. But I think every human being is in search of home. We leave the womb looking for home. So I moved to Cairo and worked in Cairo as a journalist, one of two Americans in the whole Middle East in communications, David Du Bois and I. And then I moved to Ghana because I was putting my son into university there. And I was going to go into Liberia, and I'd taken a job in Liberia. But after I was in Ghana for 3 days, my son was in an automobile accident. His neck was broken, and that meant I stayed in Ghana. He recovered, thank God. And, you know, has 2 books out and about to have a 3rd.
Prolific writer, like his mom.
Wonderful writer,
yes.
Great poet. There are 2 fan clubs. Guy Johnson fan clubs in the country. So